Hey everybody, my name is Nick here with ComfyNerd.com, and today I wanted to bring you a somewhat unique and fun deck that I played at my locals tonight, and I did go 4-0 with it. Um, the deck is blue and yellow, as you can probably guess just from the screen alone. The deck is actually pretty fun. It does have some tough matchups, and there are ways to play around it, but overall it was a fun deck to play, and I definitely enjoy it. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So first we have our eggs. This is pretty standard for blue at this point for the Upamon to help you draw, and then just one of the other egg just to have the fifth egg. And then we go into our level 3s. We are running 14 level 3s. So we have the 4 Elecmon, 4 Gabumon, 4 Gomamon, and 2 more Gabumon. So basically this one just helps you draw, this one helps you gain memory, which is important in this deck, and then the others are just 2 costs. So something that I do different with this deck that a lot of people I see don't do is I go ahead and run the jammers, because with the jammers in this deck, when you swing into their security, they either have to swing back into the jammer or they just have to let you keep hitting with the jammer for free pretty much. And so if they swing back into the jammer, then he technically counts as a blocker at that point, because you've swung in, you've guaranteed killed one of their security without dying, assuming it's not Gaia Force or something similar. And now they're swinging into that instead of your security. So worst case scenario, he's 1 life and a blocker. Best case scenario, you can just swing multiple times with him, and the jamming is beautiful. So then going on to the Leomon. This is actually a really cool play that you can set up, where if you Digivolve into the Gomamon in your breeding area and then Digivolve into him in the same turn, even if that ends your turn, that's okay. Because next turn you bring him up, you swing into their security, and if he dies to their security, you gain 3 memory. Because you gain 1 off of him and 1 or 2 off the Leomon. That's a really fun play, because that definitely opens the door for some of the other plays that we're about to talk about. And then I also play 4 blocker. I know some people in this type of list don't actually run any of the blocker. They a lot of times just go full aggro with it. I think the blockers are important because each of these blockers is essentially another life. Because as you're about to see, this deck is super troll because I just gain extra life or extra security. So I'll basically, sometimes I'll literally be at 7 or 8 security through the course of the game. And so having 4 blockers, that essentially gives you 4 more security. And actually maybe even more than that if you block certain things and the blocker survives. So I definitely think these are worth playing. So then we move on to the Angemon. These are pretty good, especially against decks like Rookie Rush or even Purple, where they just drop out a bunch of low cost. Because you're basically paying 5 and you're gaining a card on board and they're losing a card on board. It's a decent play. Like, it's not the greatest thing ever, but it's decent. So then let's go down to our level 5s and 6s. So, MagnaAngemon, this is pretty self-explanatory. We actually hardcast this every single time we play it. Like, there's not a time other than extreme situations where I Digivolve into this. So we pretty much always get the recovery +1. Having the Leomon play really sets us up for this pretty well, because, you know, if they, like, let's say they leave us at 2 memory for the turn, move Leomon up, swing with them, you gain 3 memory, so now you go up to 5, so you hardcast this for 7, and they're only at 2. So it's not that bad. And a lot of times they won't worry about trying to kill this at all, just because, I mean, it's a level 5, 6k, who cares? So a lot of times he will survive until your next turn, in which case you get to Digivolve into one of your level 6s. And with his ability, his inherited effect, it is really strong, because, you know, these level 6s end up getting either 1 or 2,000 DP. One time I think I got it up to 3,000 DP. But yeah, normally they're going to get 1 or 2,000. And I mean, that puts Kentaurosmon at 13. So swinging into a Leomon or a Phoenixmon or something like that doesn't kill it at that point, which is amazing. Mistymon is also really good because negging 3,000 from 2. There are a lot of turns where if you could neg and then still attack, it would be awesome. However, a lot of times, especially right now, people will play out a couple of rookies, especially like the blue and red decks will play out a couple, like, you know, 2-cost rookies, and then that's how they'll end their turn. So in situations like that, you can really take advantage of it. Because of him plus the Angemon, you actually have a really good matchup into Rookie Rush as well, because they'll play out, you know, some of their rookies and you'll literally 2-for-1 them. And then on top of having a blocker like yeah, there's nothing I can do, because then you're also gaining life, and yeah, it's gross. So the Puppetmons, these are best if you can string them together. Playing one Puppetmon doesn't win you the game very often, at least with this deck. However, I will say tonight against Blue Omnimon, it actually won me the game with just one Puppetmon. It was, it was a really nice play on my part. So yeah, the Puppetmons are really nice to help you in the game, especially if you can string, 2 or possibly even all 3 of them together. It's really nice. It's honestly probably one of the best on play abilities for any level 6 in the game right now. I really like it. The Seraphimon. So this one, honestly, I kind of want to bump it up to 2. The security attack +1 is really good in this deck, and you're almost always going to have that, especially since he triggers recovery +1. It does suck that he's a 10k and not at least an 11, but I mean, you can bump him up a little bit, so hopefully he survives some of the security swings. It is a really good Digimon though. I would consider going up to 3 or up to 2. I just don't know what I'd take out for it. So then the Kentaurosmon, this is probably one of the most troll cards in the deck, because a lot of times this deck doesn't have very good removal, and a lot of times you're just ignoring what your opponent has anyway, so you can swing at their life. Because in the life race, with you having recovery on 4 different Digimon, plus you having blockers, in the life race, normally you're going to be ahead if you just ignore their stuff and swing into their life. So the Kentaurosmon basically tells them, like, hey, you can't swing back at me. So not only are you recovering life or recovering security, but they can't swing back at you. And if they swing at this and kill it, it minuses 11k from one of their Digimon. Obviously, it's not going to kill some of the higher up stuff, but normally you can take out a blocker or something important of theirs. So it's a really good card as well. And I like that both of these Digivolve for 3. That's really strong and really important in this meta right now. So finally, we move on to the Hammer Sparks. Just a really good card. I mean, blue is OP, and this is part of the reason why. It is just a really good card. Now, for removal, so the one problem this deck really had is if someone got out Omnimon, you almost just auto-lost a lot of times because you had no way to deal with it whatsoever. So I threw a couple of these in here. It actually helped. Like, it really worked out. I think it made the deck a lot better. It's sad that it had to be this removal card because, I mean, putting it back to their hand does kind of suck a little bit. But at the same time, this does help to save you and or win you games, because either way, you are still clearing their big threat off the board. And anytime I played this, it did feel okay. Like, it was never like playing it and feeling bad playing it, which does happen sometimes. So yeah, this is the deck. Again, I went 4-0. My matchups were Green Control, Blue Omni, Rookie Rush, and then I played a really interesting Leopardmon deck, I believe it was. It was the level 6 dude with jamming. That was a really interesting matchup. I really like that deck. But yeah, those were my matchups tonight. This is the deck. If you have any questions, leave it below in the comments. Again, my name is Nick. Make sure to check out ComfyNerd.com. And we are streaming technically tonight around 6 p.m. Central Time on Twitch. And that is twitch.tv/ComfyNerd. So check us out. Have a great night. Thanks for watching.